Not long ago on the channel, we talked about the video game heroes who went and created their own worst enemies, in an act of self-sabotage on a par with entering a hot wings eating contest the night before a big job interview. I'm amazed Outside Xbox still hired me. Today we're back on the heroic self-owning with the best suggestions from the YouTube comments on that video, featuring the hapless heroes who accidentally drove non-villains straight into their villain eras, with terrible results. Thanks for the comments, and watch on for the idiot heroes who created their own villains through sheer stupidity. Enjoy, and beware spoilers for the following. Yeah, well, you know, they say to come into the room and really assert yourself from the first moment.
Well, you did that for sure.
Yeah, I know. I mean, the cleaning bill must have been outrageous, but really, you know, just take it out of my benefits package.
Well, we did say you didn't get the job, but then you just started showing up anyway.
Yeah, well, again, you know, assert your dominance.
Yeah, we haven't paid you for the last 12 years either. We thought you'd get the hint.
Yeah.
You're gonna give me that attitude? You know, I usually make it easy for you, you ungrateful prick. But this time I'll let you see yourself out.
Yup, we did it.
Thanks to my being stuck in a never-ending infinite time loop, I've had infinite time to memorize this script, and so, I'll get it next time around. In the meantime, I can sympathise with Colt, the time-looping protagonist of Deathloop, who, in order to break out of his loop, has to assassinate the 8 so-called visionaries on Black Reef Island, where time resets with every new day.
Boy, do I got a bone to pick with you. Let's do it again tomorrow.
This would be easier for Colt if he wasn't being hounded by fellow time looper Juliana, who keeps trying to kill him, partly to protect the loop, which she loves, but mostly for the fun of killing him, which she also loves.
Can you just hurry up already?
That would make Juliana the nailed-on villain of the piece, except for all the sassy radio banter that we live for, and also the truth about Juliana's origins and motivation, which is eventually revealed to the partially amnesiac Colt.
That's it, I guess.
Lila Blake.
Stay warm.
Juliana Blake. No! Come on, no!
Over the course of the game, we discover that Juliana is Twist, Colt's daughter, and that Twist, back in the earlier days of being trapped in the time-looping anomaly, Colt started murdering Juliana over and over to try and free her. If that sounds like a bad plan, it's because it is.
You used to like me. You used to see this place for what it could be. Then you murdered me.
Turns out that Juliana did not super enjoy being murdered and learned to fight back, to the point where she developed a taste for fighting back and actually became a big fan of this consequence-free sandbox murder playground.
You murdered me over and over. So, yeah, I fought back, and I learned to like it.
Therefore, we find that Colt in fact created his own murderous frenemy and nemesis, which in a gift to the English language I'm now calling a frenemesis. Oh, I'll have to write that down and use it again in my next loop. Oh, what?
Bat! There you are!
Travis! Took you long enough!
No More Heroes tells the story of Travis Touchdown, a nerd who wins an internet auction for a lightsaber, and then instead of mounting it on his wall against the express wishes of everyone else he lives with, uses it to kill people.
What a pain!
So unrealistic. Travis's goal in the game is to rise through the ranks of the United Assassins Association by killing those ranked higher than he is. During this quest, he faces off against such memorable assassins as Destroy Man, a super-yoked postman in superhero cosplay, and Speed Buster, a 76-year-old woman with a shopping trolley.
You were saying, Sonny?
I asked if you were ranked 3rd.
When he reaches the 9th ranked assassin, a karaoke keen Charles Bronson-alike called Dr. Peace, however, Travis hits a brick wall in the form of an entry fee. He has to stump up 150,000 LB dollars, or else he won't be able to go after Dr. Peace because he's too broke.
Put me in, coach.
All right, please transfer 150,000 LB dollars.
What? 150,000 LBs?
Your entry fee, my overhead costs. Don't tell me that you were not expecting so many zeros on that price, or that I am ripping you off or some
To solve this problem, Travis takes on a series of smaller contracts to make the money needed, one of which is a throwaway mission about a pizza chain with the wildly inadvisable name of Pizza Butt. I'm suddenly not hungry. Anyway, it seems Pizza Butt plans to open up in the town of Santa Destroy, and to crush their plan and earn a small amount of money, Travis must kill their CEO. And then once that's done, kill 2 further replacement CEOs from the same family. However, in No More Heroes 2, Travis faces a new threat, Jasper Bat Jr., the CEO of Pizza Bat, who is now the #1 ranked assassin in the world and has killed Travis's best friend Bishop to enrage him and provoke him into a fight.
Not only did you murder my father, but my 2 brothers as well. That is why I took your best friend's life. Makes sense, Travis. It's called poetic justice.
When Travis confronts Jasper, we learn that during those seemingly inconsequential side missions in the original No More Heroes, we essentially wiped out Jasper Bat's entire family, forcing him onto this path of becoming a ruthless CEO, taking over the entire town, and getting a kick-ass rocket car which he uses to beat your ass in revenge for his fallen family. His greatest achievement though? Renaming Pizza Butt to Pizza Bat. Now there's a businessman.
Seen any tentacles?
What's a tentacle?
Oh, just something I whipped up in my spare time. Made good pets, actually. Until one of them tried to take over the world. Had to tie the little buggers up in the basement.
Good thing you told us that.
Yeah, Bernard wanted us to set them free.
Thank God you weren't that stupid.
The true villain of Maniac Mansion 2 Day of the Tentacle is man-made pollution. Because before Purple Tentacle drinks from toxic sludge in the river behind the laboratory of Dr. Fred Edison, he has neither super intelligence, nor plans for global domination, nor limbs.
I feel like I could. Like I could. Like I could. Take on the world.
Yet when I fell in the Thames, all I got was dysentery. In a more immediate, actual sense though, the true villain of Maniac Mansion 2 is the Purple Tentacle, because of the aforementioned plans to enslave humanity. The blame for creation of this villain lands squarely on the shoulders of Dr. Fred with his sludge-o-matic toxic sludge-making machine, and also alpha nerd game protagonist Bernard Bernoulli.
It's from my old friend, Green Tentacle. He says that Purple Tentacle's mutated into an insane genius, and Dr. Fred's going to kill them both.
Following the water contamination event, Bernard rocks up to the mansion summoned by Purple Tentacle's amiable brother Green Tentacle, because Dr. Fred aims to destroy him and his evil tentacle bro.
We've got to find where Dr. Fred is holding the tentacles.
Bernard finds the 2 tentacles tied up in the basement and, like a chump, sets them loose.
Thanks, Bernard.
Yes, thank you, naive human. Now I can finish taking over the world.
This unforced error from Bernard sets the rest of the point-and-clicking adventure in motion, necessitating time travel forward and backward through time to prevent a future in which tentacles run the world, which is presumably a bad outcome, although to be honest, we don't know whether they do a better job at clean water infrastructure. Anyway, let this be a lesson not to free evil tentacles tied up in basements, and, I guess, boil your tap water?
Help! Lots of help! I got no idea who these asshole troops are or why they got a murder on for this space station, but they got me pinned!
Wearing a mask all the time and calling yourself Handsome Jack is like me, covered in crumbs, calling myself Didn't Steal Your Birthday Cake Jane, which is to say, suspicious. We initially got to know Handsome Jack as Borderlands 2's powerful douchebag antagonist. He's the bemasked president of the Hyperion Corporation who wants you and your fellow Vault Hunters dead.
Welcome to Pandora, kiddos.
Then in Borderlands the pre-sequel, we learned that before he was Handsome Jack, he was in over his head Jack. In the pre-villainy days, it seems Jack was a low-level Hyperion programmer who you were working for, and hey, it's a gig economy, no judgment here.
Yeah, don't mind me. Just the guy who hired ya. Sorry, am I being passive-aggressive? My bad. That must be a symptom of almost dying.
Alright, but I charge extra for revives. although normal-looking Jack isn't the capital B, capital G bad guy of the game, he can't help but start to show his power-mad true colours, which is why Borderlands 1 heroes Lilith and Roland betray him, destroying his giant space laser and turning him against Vault Hunters into the bargain.
Friggin' liars! Friggin' cowards! They're no better than faggots!
So Jack is well on the road to video game villainy even before you find yourself in a vault, supposedly a trove of ancient alien technology, where you discover a floating Borderlands logo. This is the pivotal point at which Lilith turns up and punches the Borderlands logo into Jack's face so hard it leaves a large, on-brand scar. Which would have been fine if Lilith double-tapped and confirmed the kill, instead of peacing out.
I'm gonna kill her. I'm gonna kill them all.
And so Jack is tipped over the edge into his full-on baddie era for the planet of Pandora to deal with in the game to come.
John, is that you?
Call me Jack, honey. Handsome Jack.
I can call you whatever you want, dude, but we all know what's going on under that mask. Logo face Jack.
I'm a courier. Courier 6 was Courier 6. Like you, and not like you. In all the ways that matter.
In most Fallout games, you play as a Vault Dweller, which means that you're the wronged party because you've probably been locked underground with 100 Draculas as part of a social experiment to see what happens when you lock someone underground with 100 Draculas. You know, science. In Fallout New Vegas, however, you don't play as a Vault Dweller, but rather as a courier, who has a long past before the game started of apparently questionable behaviour, often at the expense of other people. 7 years prior to the events of the game, your courier foolishly delivered a package of unknown contents to an area known as the Divide without ever asking or checking what it was. Unbeknownst to the courier, this package contained something which caused a nuclear stockpile in the Divide to arm and launch itself. Although having long been sealed up, the warheads just detonated under the earth, devastating the Divide. Now, even though it wasn't our fault, setting off a couple of atom bombs in someone's town does tend to make you a few enemies, and in the courier's case, that enemy takes the form of Ulysses, a resident of the Divide who has made it his personal life's work to track you down and make you pay for what happened there.
Spent too many years looking for you. Now letting you come to me. Thought carrying that ship would end you. No. You got lives in you. Hard to kill. Storms, bullets, sand and wind. Yet still you walk. For now.
He's got plenty of plans for ways to do it too. We find out that Ulysses was the original courier meant to deliver the platinum chip at the heart of the main game story, but he saw your name on the list and deferred to you, assuming the job would get you killed. And he was nearly right.
Truth is, the game was rigged from the start.
When that doesn't work, Ulysses decides to lure you back to the Divide, which is still armed with nukes, for a final confrontation, which, like most things in Fallout, can go one of several ways, including the two of you battling to the death, as Ulysses seems to want. Hardest of all outcomes to achieve is the one in which you talk Ulysses round to your way of thinking, but if you manage it, you can talk Ulysses down and no one needs to get nuked. Although to be fair, they are just lying around. It'd be a shame not to use them when the Legion and NCR are just sitting over there. I've just created about 40 new Ulysseses, haven't I? Really got to stop setting off atom bombs.
If there's one thing I know about quarantine zones, it's don't go in them. If there's two things I know about quarantine zones, it's don't go in them, and if you do and find a mysterious glowing yellow stone from which you accidentally unleash an alien entity of rippling darkness, that alien entity is not something harmless and ordinary, like a swarm of old cleaner bots maybe.
What was that? It's a swarm of old cleaner bots. Maybe.
Yeah, you wish. Unfortunately, here at the beginning of Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Peter, Star-Lord, Quill and co. have indeed snuck into an off-limits QZ and let loose a godlike being of immense and terrible power that, in the course of the game, will pose a major threat to the very galaxy that P-Quill is supposed to be guardianing.
Not so sure that creature thing was inoffensive, Rocket. Don't you feel even a little bad for releasing it?
Releasing? What are you talking about?
Turns out, the entity is the dark alter ego of Golden Boy Adam Warlock, worshipped by the insidious, brainwashing Universal Church of Truth.
Hubris made hunger. A cancerous craving called magus.
This magus is manipulating the church to feed on the faith energy of its followers, gearing up to destroy the galaxy, which it is only free to do because Peter Quill released it from the Soul Stone that Adam Warlock had sealed it away in. In the business, we call that a big oops.
Yeah, thought you were that freaky thing we accidentally released.
We saw some cleaner bots, accidentally.
So if Star-Lord is mostly known for looking like Chris Pratt and being a bit of a dummy, then what he lacked in the former here, he makes up for in the latter, big time. The game's ultimate mission being to defeat the church and re-imprison Magus, in the very definition of making more work for yourself.
I'm the idiot who released this bridge. I'm gonna be the one who puts it back in its bottle.
See? This is why you're not an Avenger.
Ever since Benjamin Franklin flew a kite in a thunderstorm, got struck by lightning, and then got electric powers that he used to fight Spider-Man, we've known that lightning can do pretty much anything. So when the makers of Comic Zone, a side-scrolling beat-em-up for the Sega Mega Drive, had to come up with a way of comic book characters coming to life, they knew that there was only one plausible way of having it happen: have the comic book be struck by lightning. In Comic Zone, you play as Sketch Turner, who is a comic book artist and freelance rock musician who writes a comic called Comic Zone, about the New World Empire's attempt to defend Earth from an invasion of alien renegades. Sketch needs a villain for his comic and so literally creates Mortis, a sort of robot cowboy thing. However, while working on his comic book one night during a thunderstorm, lightning comes in through the window. Not how that works. And strikes the panel he's working on, which makes Mortis appear in the real world and drags Sketch into the comic. Now literally everything that Sketch encounters is something that he himself created, including murderous mutants who want to kill him. And of course Mortis, the villain Sketch created, and is probably wishing he made a lot less cool and robot-y right about now. Anyway, look forward to Sketch's next comic, Beer and Pizza and Ponytail Maintenance Products Zone. Guys learned a valuable lesson here.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Please do like and subscribe to the video. It still makes a difference, honestly. If you'd like to watch something else from us, you should definitely watch one of these two videos. And if you don't, who knows what might happen. You might create your own supervillain out of one of us. Out of Andy.
Rampage.
He'll be outside your door, all T1000 like. So don't risk it. And if you'd like to support what we do here on Outside Xbox and Outside Extra, please do check out patreon.com/OXClub to join our fan Discord.